Hey, Tactical 40K. Today we're skipping my elite slots because as we continue down my list, and one of the reasons is I don't have any of those models yet. And as I've even gone through some of this video, or some of these videos, I'm like changing my list a little bit. In fact, in my heavy support, which I'm going to go over the list that I have currently, but I am debating on whether exchanging one of these units for a different unit. But also, I've found a little bit more. I've decided to go with a different some warlord traits in my HQ. We'll go over that later when we go over the entire list in its entirety, or list in its entirety. But for now, so we're going to go in my heavy support. So what I'm doing for my heavy support, keep it Raven Guardy, to keep it kind of spicy a little bit, we're going eliminators. I have 3 squads of eliminators right now, but like I said, I'm debating because I'm really monitoring the amount of firepower that I'll have and the ability to tackle certain elements as I'm watching people bring different armies and are doing well and anticipating certain things. So it's either I might take either some eradicators or possibly a Centurion heavy weapons team there. So I'm looking at that kind of stuff. I don't know right now. But right now, as the list is, I got 3 squads of eliminators, which are just 3-man teams. I won't even call them a squad. It's a three-man teams. And right now, the ones I have are bolt. They got bolt rifles. The one squad that I have painted up, and I'm going to show you that here in a second. I did my first like ghillie suits on them, but I have a better idea on how to do ghillie suits. Sorry, I smell some. And we're gonna go through that the next squad that I do. But right now, I just did it this way, which is a real simple, cheap way to do it. You can get this stuff at Walmart with some glue, and it looks pretty good. I mean, I just did a couple different colors, but I have a way of doing it, I think, even better. So the next squads will do that. Anyway, this one I have is all bolt rifles, which the bolt rifle itself, one, there's a couple stratagems you can use with the bolt type weapons. 2, that bolt rifle has 3 different rounds you can utilize depending on whether you're going after a character or maybe more a mass of troops. So because I've gone back and forth on the whole bolt rifle deal and last fusel. Now that last fusels are don't cost anything. So, but what I decided to do is actually then go put at least 1 squad with last fusels, and then the third one I'm still debating on. Also, what I'm debating on is equipping a couple of these guys either with or at least one of them maybe with the sergeant with the Instigator bolt rifle, or maybe him with last fusels and the other guys with bolt rifles. And one of the reasons being is, one, with the Instigator rifle that a sergeant can have on there, it gives you the ability to fire and move. So you shoot, and then you can make a normal move afterwards, which is appealing to me. It's very, very clandestine. It seems like a good ability, but I don't know. I don't know right now. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I have it lit the list as the sergeants have that, but I don't know if it's if it's going to be utilized as well, since I have a lot of other units that are mobile, that are fast, that are sneaky. So I'm really debating on what to do with that. Also, the last fusel thing, the reason I'm going to take one of those is because that is a more monster-esque, tanky type of deal. And it's like a one-shot, or, like it's a strength 8 weapon with some good AP. And I'm just, I want at least some of that. But it's a lot of give and take in this list. I'm looking at it, and I'm sure every other person sorry, there's a big truck. I'm in my truck right now. I'm sure every other person has to go through this. It's like there's a lot of stuff that you want to take. It's like, well, how do you gauge your army in order to counter a lot of these other things, in order to be able to project power, or project firepower upon an enemy? So it's like, well, what do you just become Manila, good at everything, or try to be as good as you possibly can at everything? Or do you really niche yourself into either to defeat a heavily like armored army or monster army, or maybe one with a lot more units in it? So it's really hard to do it. So what I'm doing is, I guess I'm trying to couple or battle with myself. It's like, well, I just need to pick stuff that I like, and then we need to be able to make those decisions and use the stratagems to do what we need to do. So for me, it's like, well, I kind of like having a little bit of everything. I like that, even though it's a lot more stuff to memorize. It's a lot of things, but I enjoy having the capability of maybe, tapping that resource when I might need it. Even though the enemy always has a vote, and maybe having these other things will also draw fire to some of them. So I was thinking about, because one of my fast attacks, which I kind of skipped over, which I have one of those units ready, is right currently, which doesn't mean I won't take it out. I'm looking at possibly taking it out. It's something that's super fast. It's a vehicle, but to me, it's like, with that, with no other vehicles, it seems like that will draw a lot of fire, and I might not even ever be able to really use it, because I'm assuming that if somebody can take it out, they're going to take that out first and foremost. But anyway, so heavy support right now is looking like a lot of eliminators. And I plan on deploying those out. I mean, I know a lot of people deploy them in bulk, but I wanted to kind of fan them out in order too, depending on how the board is set up. But from the boards I've seen at a lot of tournaments, it's like, I want to fan these guys out so there's overlapping fields of fire with these guys, and also so that they can provide overwatch for advancing troops. And I know that's a little bit more militaristic, and the rules of the game don't necessarily are indicative to that, but we still can apply basic warfare principles on the 40K battlefield, and that is, we want those overlapping fields of fire. We want to be able to cover the advancing main element and supporting element. This is another part of the supporting elements, but they are there. They're the angels. They're going to sit there and they're going to try to pick off certain targets, and if they get a chance at a character with Raven Guardy type things, we're going to take it out too. Now, I had debated about taking an assassin, because for some reason those just seem appealing to me, but I opted not to, even though like a Vindicar assassin just seems. I used to have one back in the day when I first played, and they just seem sexy and they seem pretty awesome. And I don't mean I won't change my mind, but right now I was like, for the points, instead of dropping 100 on that, you can get three eliminators for 75 points. So I was like, well, it just makes sense, and then you can use that 25 points somewhere else, like making my that's one of my elites, I guess, is apothecary, bulking him up or whatnot. But anyway, so that's my heavy support, and I'm going to show you that right now, how I did, or my 3 eliminators, and how I did, I guess, the ghillie suits, even though I think I got a better way to doing ghillie suits. But this will work for this first squad. When you get back into this and you're starting to paint and do this, that you try to learn from other people, but then also it's like trial and error. So you go in there, you paint one way, and it's like, oh, well, let me try this other way, and I'm going to try a different way to do ghillie suits on them. Anyway. Bam, so here are my eliminators I got in a ghillie suits. So I just took some like peat, or whatever they call it, moss, the stuff that they use at Archcrafts, bought it from Walmart. And did a couple different colors. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's not the best work, that's for sure. I got to do some details on them. But there you go. There's my eliminators. Like I said, there's a different way I'm going to be doing the ghillie suits on the next unit, and we'll go over that later. But there's my heavy support guys are going to be, so far right now, they're eliminators. Anyway, like, subscribe, peace.